you are basically being like a slave to other people's opinion and other people's way of living and just the way they see life. That's insane if you ask me. Okay. So what I wanted to talk about today is validation. As you can see from the title. So you are the only validation you need. Now it sounds like it makes sense. I mean, it sounds really simple because it is. But the thing is, most people, from what I've noticed, including myself by the way, because like I'm calling myself out right now. You know, when you want to do something, let's say you want to, I don't know, start a hobby, and then you, for example, ask opinion about like, hey, like about starting this thing, this hobby, this project, whatever. You're asking your friends, family, colleagues, whoever it is. And one thing is to ask for an opinion, but that opinion does not dictate how you feel about yourself and about this thing that you want. And another thing is to feel that when some other person gives you that validation, for example, yeah, go for it. Or, and then you, for example, start doing that. Let's say, well, I don't know, you want to start a podcast. Really weird example, I don't know. But you want to start a podcast, right? And you're asking your friend, your parent, for example, right? Hey, maybe I should start a podcast. You know, I've been thinking about it. Yappa, 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 yappa. But like, and let's say they're supportive of your thing, right? They're like, yeah, go for it. Like, yeah, you have some smart ass thoughts. You should like share them with the world. And you feel great in the moment, right? So you get that temporary validation, temporary high validation. You basically, you get that dopamine hit. You feel good, you feel great. You got that validation from another person. But then you get used to it. You get used to it. And you're gonna start to ask for approval about like everything. What you should say, what decision you should make, what you should start doing, about everything. Your whole life is now in the hands of other people. You are basically being like a slave to other people's opinion and other people's way of living and just the way they see life. That's insane if you ask me. Now, why you should not rely on external validation? Well, first of all, again, it's your life. Like, you should like live it the way you want to live. I think it's like so like I swear my English is just leaving me right now. It's such like a basic like common sense. But if it's common sense and you might hear this and just like yeah, I know. If you know, then why don't you live that way? Why do you keep asking for like other people's approval? Even subconsciously, right? You keep asking for the approval. You keep like, and if they don't give that approval to you, if they maybe they think that podcasts are dumb, like you having a podcast, you starting this hobby, you, I don't know, buying that certain thing, it's dumb. It's silly to them. They don't understand why you want to do that. And honestly, they just think it's a waste of time. And now, when you heard that, you feel shitty about yourself, right? You feel like a failure, I don't know. That's when it becomes a problem because like when you are so dependent on other people's validation, they control your life. Again, as I said, you become slave to their opinion. So, how about for once you will start like making your own decisions? How about for once you will start doing things that you actually want and not listening It's what Samantha got to say, what your parents think about you starting a podcast or whatever. You know, they might think it's dumb, but if you truly want it, if you truly feel like that's something you want to do, who is stopping you? Like, I'm sorry, their opinion should not stop you. It's like it's insane. It's ridiculous. Ask yourself this question: do you wanna live the rest of your life based on other people's approval, or do you wanna like actually make your own decisions and do what you actually want, and not what other people think is the best for you, even though most likely it's not? Yeah, think about that. So, self-validation. Honestly, I'm still learning how to do that, but you just have to call yourself out. The second, for example, when you start like thinking like, oh, maybe I should like ask, I don't know, my partner, my friend, or this or that about this thing, just stop yourself and ask, why do you need that? And if you are a curious bee like me and you still want to know what your, let's say, friend thinks about you starting a podcast or whatever, don't let, if for example they're not supportive of it, don't let that stop you. They're not supportive, okay, great, I don't care, it's my podcast, not yours. If they're supportive, cool, but again, you should not do that. You should not start a podcast just because they were supportive. That should not be your main reason. Main reason should be what you feel inside here, your actual passion, the fact that you're driven to start this hobby or whatever. And actually, this not, well, it's gonna be a freaking long video if I'm gonna like yap about, like, for example, social, like, validation when it comes to social media, likes, views and stuff, education, the grades you get. Like, it's gonna be a real long one, and I want to keep it short and simple. So yeah, just stop looking for external validation and start living your own life the way you want it. I think that's all I want to say right now. Keep it short and simple. Well, now just look, I got a koala. it's a you put water in it. It's like a heater, and like, you know, helps with period cramps. You see how like I'm just talking about like random stuff. I swear I cannot focus on one thing. I'm trying to be here serious, and I'm just like, this is a koala. It's so cute. Anyways,